Good evening, everybody. In the absence of Legislator Headwell, I would like to call the Personnel Committee to order at 6 o'clock. Remind it's a committee of the whole. Is there any discussion anyone would like to partake in prior to review of resolutions? Hearing none, our first resolution is a resolution amending the 2026 operating budget mandated salary adjustment for the district attorney. I'll sponsor that. Do I have a second?
Second.
Legislator Kowalczyk. Discussion. I mean, for those of you who are new and haven't seen this yet, it's something that happens every so often. It's mandated by the state. It is what it is. And obviously, we can see here that this dollar adjustment is coming out of another line item and not out of fund balance. It's a nominal amount.
So the state comes in and tells, like, okay, that's what I,
Yeah, it's mandated by the state.
Don't give a notice, like,
yeah.
Well, perhaps Christina can shed some light into the timing of how it and when it happens.
To be honest, I received an email from the District Attorneys Association. Upon receiving it, I forwarded it to personnel.
It's as simple as that, yeah.
they give you time, like how much time do they give you? It's like,
When
hey,
did I
it's
email
immediate,
that?
immediate?
I mean, it was April, and
Yeah.
so it was retro to April 1st.
Ah,
Yes.
So it wasn't very much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of moving forward?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Our next resolution authorizing the reclassification of the Human Resources Labor Relation Assistant position to Human Resources Labor Relations Specialist from the Office of Personnel. Do I have any sponsors?
I'll sponsor.
A second.
Legislator Sweet and Majewski. Discussion, Nicole, why don't you come on up and explain. I mean, as you mentioned to me, handing this out, to me, it looked like you had trouble recruiting, you wanted to upgrade it in order to attract other people, but it sounds like you have a candidate, so why don't you?
So what I will say is that while I did have trouble recruiting on the assistant position, I realized that the candidates that I was receiving were very entry level. So the type of work that I need to have done is more specialized, a little bit higher level. I especially realized that while I was out in the beginning of the year, and needing this person to be able to perform higher duties. In the meantime, between putting this resolution in and tonight, I was able to fill the assistant position, but even though I was able to fill that position, that person still can't perform those duties at the higher level because of the classification differences. So I would ask that the position still move forward. It's about a little over a $6,000 increase for the whole year, which I have within my budget because the position remained vacant throughout the year. And then for next year, my plan is that I do have some contracts that are falling off, and so it will still be budget neutral.
So when you hired her, you realized she was more qualified than the position she was hired into?
I definitely could see that from her application and the resume, but even if I didn't have her in the position, I just happened to be lucky in the fact that she had all those qualifications, but even if it wasn't her in that position, I would still need to recruit for the
Gotcha.
higher level.
Oh, okay. All right. Any further discussion for Nicole on this one? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Thank you.
Our next resolution authorizing a renewal agreement with Marshall and Sterling for brokerage services. Do I have a sponsor?
I'll sponsor.
Second?
I'll second.
Legislator Majewski, Legislator Pollak.
It's your turn.
I guess the good news on this one is it's for another 18 months and the price isn't moving.
That's correct.
Okay, and because the price was up there.
It is up there.
Yeah.
It is up there. That was,
and
yeah,
quite a bit up there from other possible
that is correct.
sources.
That is correct.
Yeah, so to know that we're gonna pay the same amount of money as we did the last year or so for the next 18 months, that kind of helps to even out that.
It does, and the contract ending mid-year is very difficult for us in HR because this is where all of our retirees pay their premiums to. So, upheaving them all is a task in general, so doing that mid-year is not really feasible. So this would provide some continuity in billing.
Okay. Any further questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, our next resolution, adopting introductory local law E, local law 5 of 2026, a local law establishing compensation for district attorney. I'll sponsor this. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, legislator Kowalczyk. This is obviously tied to the first resolution. We need a law passed in order to entertain the mandated salary increase. So if there's no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, that moves on. And our next resolution, amending the 2026 operating budget for the Office of District Attorney and requesting funding to reestablish the position of Assistant District Attorney. Do I have a sponsor? Legislator Sweet, Legislator Kowalczyk. Discussion, Christina, why don't you give us the lowdown?
Sure. Our legal intern, Nathaniel McCabe, he was a law school graduate, Albany Law. He came on as an intern in January. He took the New York State Bar exam in February. He passed, is actually top 10th percentile. So he's filled out his application for character and fitness, and he's awaiting admissions. Hopefully that'll happen here soon. So now that I have a person to fill a position for an assistant district attorney, I'm now coming back to you and asking for that position to be funded.
As we had left you with last budget period.
Yes.
Yes.
And that'll help my office in that I think you're aware, some courts where I don't have an attorney assigned. It's whoever can fill that month. So we really need someone stable, like, the judges and the courts know that they're gonna have this person come in. So he's gonna go the plan and cover night courts.
Okay. And we still have two positions in the budget that are still open.
Yes, a part-time assistant district attorney
Yep.
and a felony crimes.
Perfect. Any hits on the felony crime?
No hits on either.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or discussion for Christina on this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, that moves on, and I'll adjourn the Personnel Committee meeting at 6:08.
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
You ready, Pat?
I'm ready.
All right, I'd like to call the Health and Human Services Committee to order. This is a committee of the entire legislature. It is 6:08 p.m. First on the agenda is discussion. Is there anything anybody would like to bring up? Okay, we're going to get into the resolutions. You're going to find I'm going to mix them up a little bit for fluidity's sake. So I'm not doing it unintentionally out of order. It's intentional. First is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign an intergovernmental agreement with the New York State Office of Information Technology Services for Social Services. Need a sponsor in a second.
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Muehlbeck and Legislator Sweet. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain? And opposed? Okay, that will move on. Next is a resolution authorizing the Department of Social Services to enter into a cooperative agreement with the Department of Public Works for social services. I need a sponsor in a second.
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Majewski and Chairman Pep. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Next is a resolution authorizing the allocation of dual settlement funds to Canajahari Central School District for mental health. Sponsor in a second.
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Elwood and Legislator Pollock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions?
Abstention.
Okay. And opposed? I'm getting those mixed up too, but yeah, okay. And that will move on. Next is a resolution authorizing implementation of opiate settlement, opiate abatement program funding, and contract for the OESJ School District for mental health.
I'll sponsor.
Sponsors Legislator Majewski and Legislator Pollock. Any discussion?
I do have,
Okay.
Sarah, I just want to ask you a question about these memos of understanding and the reporting back that they have to do to you. What does that entail? The frequency, the extent of those reports? How do we hold them to the letter of using the money the way we want them to?
So for the OESJ contract, this is a continuation of the original Sweethearts and Heroes program that the Sheriff's Office has been involved in with the school district. They are required every quarter, which is our quarter, not the school quarter, to submit how many students have attended, how many teachers have attended, the hours that they are paying the instructors, and they are also required to submit photographic documentation to me of some of the groups.
Okay, and the other one, I didn't ask it on the Jewel.
For the Jewel,
Yeah.
we don't have a matrix yet from the state.
And your outlook on when we will have
That's
something to hold their
a
feet
great
to?
question. However, this will be easy for me to track because this contract with the Jewel Settlement Funds, they are going to be purchasing vape detection mechanisms for all of their bathrooms and their hallways. So that would be pretty easy for the sheriff and I to go there and make sure, or somebody from the sheriff's office to go there and make sure that there are actually detection machines in the school.
Okay.
So that's probably an easy check.
And I just want to say I'm glad to see quickly how, this manifests that you're spending the money in the western part of the county for these programs as you indicated at last month's meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do have one quick question, I'm sorry. Are you doing this at other schools as well? Only schools that applied, and so far, only 2 schools have applied for the funding. The sheriff has a high threat meeting, we actually had one 2 weeks ago. I announced again that these funds were available to all schools. Several school districts didn't show up, so if they're not at the table, they don't get offered the money.
Gotcha.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That will move on. And finally is a resolution authorizing the Montgomery County Health Department to enter into memorandum of understanding with the Village of Fort Plain for community health programming and events for public
I'll
health.
sponsor.
Legislator Sweet
I'll second.
and Legislator Pollock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, that will move on. Is there anything under other? Hearing none, I made the motion to adjourn. Legislator Pollock and Chairman Pat.
Ready? Okay, we'll call the Public Safety Committee to order at 6:13. First thing on the agenda is discussion. Does anyone have anything to discuss pertaining to this committee? Hearing none, we'll move right on to the resolutions. First resolution, the resolution amending the 2026 operating budget, motor vehicle equipment. I need a sponsor.
I'll sponsor.
Chairman Pep.
I'll second.
Legislator Elwood. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Move that to the full board. Next resolution, resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into contracts with school districts for school resource officer positions. I'll sponsor. Need a second.
I'll second.
Legislator Pollock. Discussion.
Yeah, Jeff, have there been any other school districts that have come to us looking to partner with Montgomery County Sheriff's Department for school resource officers or no?
No, not at this time. OESJ, Oppenheimer, Freedom, St. Johnsville has their own, and so does Canterbury Central.
Okay,
So we just do Fort Plain, Fonda, FMCC, and Amsterdam High.
perfect,
And then Amsterdam Middle School has one from APD, Lynch.
awesome. Thank you.
Well,
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Move that to the full board. Next resolution, resolution amending the 2026 operating budget, SAM Grant, State and Municipal Facilities Program. I need a sponsor.
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Elwood,
I'll
second.
second.
Legislator Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Move that to the full board. Next resolution amending the 2026 operating budget, K-9. I'll sponsor. Need a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Legislator Muehlbeck. Discussion. Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Move that to the full board. Next resolution amending the 2026 operating budget with forfeiture money district attorney. I need a sponsor.
I'll sponsor.
I'll
Maria
second.
and Pollock. Discussion. Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Next resolution amending the 2026 operating budget.
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Majewski and Chairman Pep. Bill, do you want to talk on that at all?
This is for the elevator. My understanding is it's already been approved, but this is moved into our budget so we can pay for it.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Move that to the full board. Next resolution amending the department budget, public defender. Need a sponsor?
I'll sponsor.
I'll second.
Legislator Majewski. Discussion, Bill?
I'm sorry. This was $5,000 that was taken out of our budget. It was, I don't know why, but we're requested to be put back in. This is for family court expenses.
Any discussion on that? It's 5,000.
Yeah.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Move it to the full board. Next resolution amending the 2026 operating budget, alternatives to incarceration mandated program. I need a sponsor.
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Elwood, second.
I'll second.
Kowalczyk, discussion. Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Anything under other? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Maria,
Second.
Michelle. Thank you.
Ready? I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee to order at 6:17. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll get into the resolutions. First resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into agreement with bridge repair on the Canalway Trail and amended 2026 operating budget for public works. Commissioner, if you'd like to give us some details on this?
I'll sponsor.
Oh, can I get a sponsor?
Second.
Second. Sweet. Pollock. Commissioner?
Yeah, so, as everyone here probably knows, we're under contract with New York State Parks and Rec for maintenance of the Canalway Trail from Schenectady County to Herkimer County. There are several bridge structures along the trail. 2 years ago, we replaced the decking on 2 of them, and it was all at the expense of the county. Legislator Sweet, I'm sure you remember that fiasco as well as you, Chair. And so we have another bridge that is in need of some repair. We've patched it to about the extent we can. State Parks wants it redecked. For the first time in history, I got them to agree to pay for the material. So that covered about $25,000, $26,000. They're asking us to cover the labor. They didn't have the labor based on our agreement. Kind of shows that we do provide that service. I don't have the workforce to do it. Same bridge contractor, talking State Parks and Rec. They're happy with his work, previous work he did. We are under contract with that contractor for our bridge repair. He's willing to do it again, but that's the.
Who is it?
R&B Construction.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you that question, because there was a line in the resolution that says they've agreed to purchase materials. I'm like, great, but then the line item is construction and maintenance supplies. That was the transfer from fund balance is going into, that confused me.
Yeah, because that's the line under our recreation line in the budget.
Okay.
So it's not gonna go into my highway line, it's gonna go into the special recreation line, into the bike path line. So that
It wasn't so much where that part of it, it was it looked like we were paying for the supplies to be used
Yeah.
for the construction.
Yeah, no, that's all labor, just, you know, pay it out of that line, and all the materials on site, they delivered it last week. It was all ordered out of Curtis Lumber right in, before you get into Kansas area there, so,
Right in Fort Plain.
or Fort Plain, sorry, so.
So the 50.
All the material was bought local by the state, which is great.
The 50 then, Eric, if 25 is for material, the other 25 is for the labor?
No, 50 is the 20, the whole project's around $76,000.
Okay,
Similar to what the last two were, because the last two were about 74,000 apiece, and we had to foot the whole bill.
I'm just trying to reconcile the math in my head. So if it's 25 for the materials, they're paying for it. So the 50 is being used for what?
The contractor to perform the work.
Just this
Just
contract?
That's all the contractor's work, it's about 4 weeks worth of work,
Okay,
almost a month.
okay.
That's
Okay.
that's our share.
That's our share. The state already took care of the material, they already paid for it.
Okay, that's what I was.
It's not part of the resolution.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Moves to the full board. Second resolution is a resolution amending the 2026 operating budget for insurance recovery funds for public works. Can I get a sponsor?
I'll second.
Legislator Kowalczyk, Legislator Majewski. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none. Move on to the last one. Resolution authorizing the county exec to sign an agreement with KB Group of New York, DBA Prime AE Group for the engineering administration coordination of services and on-site inspection for the replacement of the generator located at the Fort Plain pump station. Can I get a sponsor? Legislator Sweet, can I get a
I'll
second?
second.
Legislator Majewski. Any discussion? And actually, I can fill this in a little bit just for some information on the background. The generator there now is quite old, and they've already done a repair or a replacement on the station itself at the sewer district 1. This is to upgrade and replace the one that's actually at the pump station, which is in dire need of replacement, so. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Moves to the full board. Any other discussion?
Yes, Legislator Muehlbeck, I'd like you to explain to the rest of the legislature something you told me about last week where you were contacted by the New York Post for commentary on solar farms.
Yeah,
If you could, cue everybody into that, please.
absolutely. So I received an email from an editor at the New York Post asking me if I would be open to an interview regarding the ongoings with New York State and the Office of Renewable Energy Siting in what they consider the overstepping of power. So yesterday I completed a 55-minute interview with backgrounds, and it actually transacted out of us moving forward and approving the resolution to allow our county attorney to continue to appeal the decision on Mill Point, and now moving to appeal on Flat Creek. That triggered a lot of discussion regarding it. There's been a lot of movement on the internet. This reporter happened to pick it up and spoke with a couple of individuals and recommended speaking with myself and Megan. So I completed the interview yesterday, and he is looking to do the article full-blown at the end of this week, early next week, showing the opposition / feelings of, the communities here in upstate New York on how we're just being pushed aside by Office of Renewable Energy.
He still has to speak with Megan, you said?
Yes, he is going to be speaking with her, I think, tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
What's this dude's name?
Chadwick, I'll have to get you his last name. I remember his name.
That'll
is
be
Chadwick.
enough of an identifier.
Yes,
I
his
don't
name
know
is
too many
Chadwick.
Chadwicks.
So, yeah. So,
Matter of fact, that's almost like a single name.
yes. But I'll notify everybody when.
Like Bono.
Like share.
So, okay. Thank you.
You're
I'm
welcome.
not, I'm just a Chad.
No, wait.
That's just a Chad.
All right, you ready to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Legislator Kowalczyk and Pollak.
I would like to call the Economic Development Committee of the Legislature. It is 6:24. First thing on the agenda is discussion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move right into the resolution. Our first resolution is resolution accepting a grant for Community Infrastructure Grant Program, New York State, Empire State Development Office, amending the 2026 operating budget. Can I have a sponsor in a
I'll
second?
sponsor.
Legislator Muehlbeck and Chairman Pep. Discussion. Hearing none.
I got a question.
Oh, yep, go ahead.
Where's it gonna go?
It's in the city of Amsterdam. The project neighborhood name is called Settlers Crossing. It's on the corner of, what is that, Second and Roosevelt?
Roosevelt, yes.
Okay.
So it's right by the
It's in my
Chuckton Creek
district,
Trail,
actually.
Okay.
where Fastenal Paint used to be.
Right, okay.
It's right up the street from there. There's apartments up there right now, and it's located near Veterans Park.
Okay.
What's it gonna be used for, Alex? I mean, the specific infrastructure improvements to your.
Yeah, it's earmarked for site work, generally speaking, grading, some sewer and water enhancements, some retention walls for soil erosion.
Okay.
And it's for new owned families and
Yep, it's owner occupied.
First-time home
first time
buyers.
home, yes.
Yeah, 16 homes. all
Modular
across-
homes?
No.
Or no, what are
Manufactured.
manufacturers?
Yeah, they're Bill Lake homes.
Yep.
They've partnered with the folks at Bill Lake, and many other partners. They're getting grant funding from HCR and partnering with a group from Schenectady, the Better Neighborhood Community Initiative, and they have some bank loans too. So that's a big partnership project.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll go into, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstentions? Aye.
Abstained.
Abstain, I'm sorry. Abstain,
I
I'm gonna
abstain.
abstain myself as well. And next, our last resolution is resolution appointing a member to the Montgomery County Industrial Development Agency and Capital Resource Corporation. Do I have a sponsor in a second? Chairman Pep
I'll second.
and Legislator Kowalczyk. Discussion.
This is gonna, our old colleague Martin Kelly is
Yes.
filling this.
Yes, he will be back.
I think it's a wonderful acquisition for this board.
I do too. I really do.
He's got a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience to offer.
I think he's a great addition, that's for sure. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstentions? That will move to the full board. Anything under other? Hearing none, I would like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Kowalczyk and Legislator Muehlbeck at 6:28.
All right, and I will, in the absence of Legislator Fiorello, I will call the Education and Government Committee meeting to order at 6:28. Committee of the Whole, anything to discuss? Hearing none, first resolution. Adopting introductory local law D, local law 4 of 2026, a local law granting an easement to Niagara Mohawk Power Corp. and Citizens Telecommunications of New York, DBA Frontier Communications of New York. I'll sponsor it. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Legislator Majewski. If you've taken the time to read it, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have any further insight into it myself. Eric, do you have anything that's for the Verizon tower?
I don't, is that the one that crosses over the correctional facility, the public safety facility?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I discussed it briefly with the sheriff a month ago and County Attorney Manning, and, it's just to access. They don't have to maintain their service line going to the tower. That's creating revenue for the the county is all
Yeah.
it was. So it was just a matter of coming to an agreement on a fee that county attorney mandated we get.
Yeah, and I see that it's $1,000 and that's reasonable, so, okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, our next resolution authorizing county executive to sign contract for flood insurance. Do I have any sponsors for
I'll
this?
sponsor.
Legislator Muehlbeck and Majewski. Any discussion? Pretty self-explanatory, comes up every year, it's budgeted, so. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, our next resolution confirming appointment term of representative to the Fulton, Montgomery, and Schoharie County Workforce Development Board.
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Majewski.
Second.
Legislator Kowalczyk. We do have a letter in our file, if you looked at it, describing the appointees, Olivia Ash's background and the recommendation. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Next resolution authorizing county executive to enter into a contract with Hot Docs.
That's just fun to say.
I'll sponsor it in a second. Anybody?
I'll second.
Legislator Muehlbeck. Obviously, no cost to the county, so that's always good. Looks like it's going to speed things up in the clerk's office. So no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And a resolution approving the standard workday and retirement reporting for elected and appointed officials.
I'll sponsor.
Yeah, Legislator Kowalczyk, do I have a
A
second?
second.
Legislator Paul. And this is, has to do with the charts that we submit if we're in the New York State retirement system through this elected position, and the other ones who are employed here that are not otherwise covered by the retirement system. They have to dock their time, first 3 months of the first year after of election for us. So that's what this is all about. But now, who else is involved in, I mean,
I had a terrible time with this last year.
Yeah.
Pat will tell you.
okay. I know not everybody is elected.
But you're
to be-
fine.
Yes.
It's also appointed officials that, and it has to do if you're not in timekeeping. So if it's an appointed official like the assistant district attorneys, the assistant public defenders, they're not in a timekeeping system, so they need to fill it out as well.
And some people have passed on it within our legislature
Right.
because they're already.
Yeah, we just do that for the 3 months, right?
That's it. You're done.
Okay, perfect.
All right. All right, there's no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, motion to adjourn the Education and Government Committee.
So moved.
All right, legislators Kowalczyk and Pollak at 6:33.
Okay, I'd like to call the Budget and Finance Committee to order at 6:33 PM. Is there any discussion? No, moving on to resolutions. First resolution is resolution authorizing the county treasurer to disperse mortgage tax money. Need a sponsor?
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Muehlbeck and
Me.
Legislator Kowalczyk. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Moves to the full board. And resolution approving the abstract of audited claims. I need a sponsor.
I'll sponsor.
Legislator Kowalczyk, Chair Pep. Any discussion?
Chair. I would just like to tell Secretary Beck that it was very nice to have all the attachments working.
I agree with you, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Moves to the full board. Is there anything else under other? No? Make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
MK.
Is it Chadwick Moore?
Yeah, I mean, there can't only be one Chadwick on the post.
He's a contributing editor.
Chadwick Moore.
It's not like-
Chadwick
it's not-
Moore.
There's
Yep.
John.
There he is.
Email that you sent
More.
regarding the.
More,
Chester
M-O-O.